To save a state park from being turned into a private lake community. The Fairfield Lake State Park is one of the top wildlife attractions in Central Texas. Folks from across the state showed up at the Capitol this morning to fight to save it. Our Brett Shipp has been covering this story. He joins us now in studio with more.
Yeah, this shocked so many people who enjoy that state park, beloved Fairfield Lake State Park, and now suddenly there is a big fight at the state capitol. Well, ever since the park abruptly closed a few weeks ago, area lawmakers and local residents have been scrambling to figure out a way to save it. 1,400-acre state park located halfway between Dallas and Houston on Fairfield Lake has been leased rent-free from a power company for the past 50 years. Well, that lease has expired and the state was outbid by a developer from Dallas who wants to build luxury lake homes and sell some of the lake water. So locals and lawmakers are working overtime to craft legislation to interrupt the sale, perhaps. At first, they were talking about taking the park back through eminent domain. Turns out that approach may not be very popular among all the lawmakers. Today, then, a new bill introduced to effectively block the sale of the water rights. This morning at the state capitol, a former park manager testified there are numerous reasons for saving the park.
We need to have a natural resource investigation of what the species, what endangered species that we may not even know of on the property. Needs to be a historical, cultural assessment of graveyards, and there's recently been some discoveries of freedmen, slave cemeteries on the grounds, and we need to do an economic impact assessment.
There are a number of ways that people are devising at the Capitol to try to save the state park. Nicole, the park is so beloved. The outcry has been so demonstrative that they have reopened the park pending the sale, and so people are going back in. Here's one thing I learned this morning, that this Fairfield Lake is one of the biggest bass spots, fishing bass spots in the state. Yeah. And people are outraged about this, and it's got a huge fisheries there as well.
Listen, it has a huge fishery and it also has a huge history. You've been focusing on that as well. You've been reporting on the freedmen's graves at the park and the property being sold. Now, how might those issues impact potential sales?
That remains to be seen, but a lot of people are very interested in preserving those cemetery sites and the freedmen grave sites. And just this past week, the Texas Historic Commission has located that the undiscovered, let's call it, freedmen's grave. That's been designated as a historical site in Texas now. So the fight is on the state capitol, and it is ruffling some feathers, especially with the developer in Dallas. So we will stay on top of it.
I know you will. Appreciate that, Brett. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Here's a look at what's happening in our community, presented by